and today we are interviewing Katy Manning. Katy Manning, who played Jo Grant in Doctor Who. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, and that was a fantastic introduction.
Thank you.
I think you have a huge future in front of you, my darling.
Good, glad to hear it.
You know, I think we'll have to let all the TV hosts know that there's a new man on the block. So sit back, Graham Norton, you're just about to be upstage.
Yeah.
Right, what questions have you got for me, darling?
Well, I've got 5, so
I hope I've got 5 answers.
hopefully you do. Okay, first question. How did you get the part of Jo Grant, and do you remember your first day on set?
I got the part of Jo Grant. I was doing, it was only my second job as an actress, and I was doing another television series, which I'd just been given the Juve lead in. And Barry Letts and Terence Hickman, everybody had shortlisted the new Doctor Who girl that they wanted, Jo, down to, out of, probably about 500-600 people, they'd shortlisted it down to 3. And Barry Letts kept saying, there's one I haven't seen, and she's working, and so she hasn't been able to get here, and so on and so forth. So finally, I got very lost in the BBC Centre, and I got an hour out of the television that I was already doing for another channel, and I went along, and they said, "Could you read for us?" And I don't know whether you know, but I can't see very well. I'm not allowed to drive or anything, and so I picked up the script, and I didn't wear my glasses because my glasses are very thick, and people they laugh at me. And so I went, with difficult. So they said, well, would you do an improvisation? So I went in, I did an improvisation of seeing a horrible devil, and then finding it was only a fur hat. And the next day I got a phone call, and they said, would you like to play Jo Grant?
That must have been pretty amazing.
It was amazing because they'd already decided between 3 girls, and I came along, and I got it. And do I remember my first day? My first day wasn't on set. You do the filming first. So when I met John and Nick and obviously Roger Delgado, and it was a whole new look by Barry Letts. He got real Army, real Navy. The Master was being introduced, and the new companion Jo, who had just left school, and she'd done like a year's course and didn't do very well, as she said. She didn't pass anything. And I met John. I've never been so nervous. I was so nervous I learned everybody's lines. Twisted my ankle, falling out of a moving car, which I thought was rather clever, and I did it right the first time. Second time I twisted my ankle, but we carried on. And John and I realised that we really, really got on well. And that was how it was for the rest of time.
Good. Okay. This is the second question. Were you a fan of the show before you got the part, and do you still watch it now?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I had watched it when it first started with William Hart.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. And then because I had a very serious car accident, so it was about 2 years of my life where I didn't really see very much. And then I went to America, where a lot of my family are, and I was going to stay in America and work. And then I decided to come back and go to drama school. And so really time never permitted me to watch it after that. But I had watched it in the early days of William Hart.
What with the wobbly sets?
Well, darling, you can only have, if you look at anything that goes back to that period, they were wobbly sets. Because you have to look, technology has changed. We didn't even have computers then. So to do what we did was quite, what they did was extraordinary. They still had wobbly sets in the Avengers, and that was later. But you back then you didn't notice wobbly sets because you didn't know any different. You do, but we didn't. I'm very old, and I watched television black and white. I even did live television, which is very bizarre. Anyway, it was my first stage filming was absolutely wonderful. I did watch Doctor Who, but then I didn't for a long time, and I never watched myself. And my father used to be on radio at the same time as I was doing Doctor Who, so Daddy won because he was doing sports report. And I watched Doctor Who now, because when you're working and you're doing a lot of things, you don't get to see. And in Australia, it wasn't on, regularly. And I lived in Australia, and it wasn't on regularly in America.
Yeah.
So I didn't see a lot, but I made sure I watched a little bit of everybody's because they're all so lovely. And then, but I do watch it now. I watch, and I loved Russell T Davies, his way that he brought it back. I thought it was absolutely wonderful, and I became a fan.
I like Stephen Moffat.
I like them all.
Okay, third question. How did it feel to return as Joe Grant in the Sarah Jane Adventures in 2010, where you worked with Elizabeth Sladen and Matt Smith?
Absolutely wonderful, and it was the last thing that I ever thought would happen, because I never thought about it. You don't think when you leave a program like Doctor Who is, oh, I wonder if I'll ever come back. Because I was getting on with my work as an actress. That's what I do. I've been doing it for 50 years. And Liz and I were all very good friends. And I thought Matt was a wonderful doctor. And of course, when I was asked if I wanted to do it, I was told I was going to do it. and I read the script, and I thought I loved what they did with Jo Grant's life, the fact that she stayed with her husband, that she'd had 13 grandchildren, 7 children, and she dropped them at side of mountains and called them San Diego and all those things, and that she chained herself to Robert Mugabe, and she did what she did was, it was lovely. When she left with her professor, they were going off because they wanted to save this planet. And that's what she'd been doing her whole life. Her children didn't even get to go to school. She was quite cool. And I thought it was a lovely story, and I was very honoured to come back. And Liz was a lovely woman, a lovely actress, a dear friend, and I call her the quintessential Doctor Who girl.
Yeah. I'm yet to watch that episode.
You had to, did you?
Yeah.
Somebody sort of said, if you don't watch this, I'm going to get very cross.
No,
I'm teasing you.
No, it's just that I haven't had time to watch it before, like the Comic Cons and stuff.
And what did you think?
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was a lovely story, and I was very proud to be a part of it. And thank you for thinking it was pretty good.
So anyway, guys, that's pretty much today's video. Remember to like and subscribe and stay awesome.
Wow, isn't he something?